World News in 5.
Right now.
News and developments making headlines around the world in 5 minutes. World News in 5. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
This is World News in 5 here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Hamas's acting Gaza chief Khalil al-Hayya expressed opposition to the idea of swapping the remaining hostages for Palestinian prisoners, saying such a move would only be achieved if the war in the Gaza Strip ended. In a televised interview with the group's Al-Aqsa television, Hayya says the hostages are their strong card in the war. That's why they would not give them unless the aggression is not ended. He also expressed his group's readiness to continue to engage in the peace negotiations, but stressed that the Israeli side should show what he described as a real will to end the war in the Palestinian enclave. Hayya's latest remarks come as the United Nations Security Council introduced a resolution that seeks for an immediate, unconditional, and permanent ceasefire in the 13-month war and separately demanded the release of hostages. The resolution did not push through after the United States, a permanent member with a veto power, voted against it as it wanted to secure first the release of hostages. Calls for the immediate end of hostilities in Gaza have been pushed for months, with some negotiations making significant progress. However, demands from the warring sides still make the deal hard to reach. In our news, Mali's state-run television says the country's ruling junta has fired Prime Minister Choguel Maiga following his remarks on the prolonged postponement of the civilian elections. According to the ORTM, the junta sacked Maiga after he criticized the military ruler's failure to organize elections within the target transition frame. Following the junta's successive coup in 2020 and 2021, it had promised to hold transitional elections in February but postponed it indefinitely due to technical reasons. Last week, Maiga said there had been no debate regarding the postponement of the elections and that the junta only announced the move to the media without discussing it to his office. Maiga was a former supporter of the junta's policy, defending the group from international criticism such as their military cooperation with Russia and from their repeated election delays. For Philippine Embassy and Consular News, the Philippine Embassy, in partnership with Dewan Bandaraya Kuala Lumpur or Kuala Lumpur City Hall, capped its year-long celebrations for the 60th anniversary of the Philippines-Malaysia relations with a triumphant concert. Dubbed Handog, a concert celebrating 60 years of Philippines-Malaysia friendship, the concert featured Maestro Gerard Salonga, the Philippine Madrigal Singers under the baton of Mark Anthony Carpio, the Orchestra for Filipino Youth, the Malaysian Philharmonic Youth Orchestra, the Orchestra of Kuala Lumpur, and Filipino-Malaysian singer Miss Yasmin Aziz. Guests included the Diplomatic Corps, government officials, and Filipino community leaders. In her welcome remarks, Philippine Ambassador to Malaysia Maria Angela Ponce says the concert is a festival of song and music highlighting the shared bonds, history, culture, meaningful people-to-people exchanges, and commitment of the Filipino and Malaysian peoples to friendship, peace, stability, and prosperity under the banner of ASEAN. With the theme of Handog, she says the event was an offering of thanks and of affection to the city of Kuala Lumpur, the embassy's partners and stakeholders, and the Filipino community. The Handog concert is one of many highlights of the celebration of the 60th anniversary of the Philippines-Malaysia diplomatic relations this year. Under the leadership of Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. and Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim, bilateral ties have become even stronger, culminating in the Philippines-Malaysia Joint Commission meeting held on October 15 to 16, 2024. The Philippine Embassy in Kuala Lumpur says it is committed to fostering closer cultural, musical, and artistic bonds between the Philippines and Malaysia. And that's for today's edition of World News in 5. For Radyo Pilipinas World Service, this is Win Peñano. Good day.
World News in 5.
Right now.
News and developments making headlines around the world in 5 minutes. World News in 5. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.